Good afternoon, y'all. Coach Simmons here. And today, I'm going to look at an article written by Kyle T. Mosley on SI.com. I'll leave the link in the comments below. I'll pin it for you. He mentions 5 teams with coaches who are on the hot seat or should be on the hot seat. He mentioned Texas Southern, which I already did a video on. I took a lot of heat for not doing my research and not understanding that, they have all these young players in Houston and they're an up-and-coming team. Well, so far they're 1-4. The hot seat is going on down there in Houston. And I'm not talking about that one. I already did it before. Also, not talking about Tennessee State because you won't find a bigger name in that market than Eddie freaking George. So unless Eddie George continues to go winless this year, does something more horrific than lose to Lane, the former SIAC member back in 1929. Yeah, unless they do something different, like horrific, I don't think Eddie George is leaving. That leaves the last 3. Well, let's start off with Valley. Get them out the way. Mississippi Valley, I thought, was safe for a while because of the fact that who would you get to go coach Valley? But then I started to think, you want you a young, up-and-coming coach. You want a coach that, not saying doesn't know any better, but a coach that can go down there and lay a foundation. Coach Dancy is more of a defensive guy, so you want to flip that around and get more of an offensive thinking person. Somebody who knows how to, 1, develop a quarterback, 2, develop a receiving core. Well, you got Willie Totten on the roster right now. Jerry ain't coming back. So you got to get outside of your history. But somebody who's from the area knows a thing or two about a thing or two. Now, I saw that they have a new AD. First thing AD wants to do is reach back to their past. And who in the AD's past meets all that criteria and may be able and are willing to come to Valley? The man, T.C. Taylor. I know Jackson fans going to try to run me a new one right now, but just wait and listen, okay? The offer, if Coach Dancy is released or leaves or whatever have it, T.C. Taylor will be on that short list. Because of the fact you want somebody with a name in the state. Whether you like it or not, T.C. Taylor has that name. And we all know Valley's situation with quarterbacks. Well, this man has a history of great offenses. He's worked with some of the best. His last job, it was at Central, and this one right here at Jackson State. If he comes down to Valley, he will immediately understand the difference on what it takes to run an offense. He may keep some of the defensive coordinators from Valley, because that's basically what they were good at, was defense. If you have Valley's defense a little bit better on talent development and talent vision, you may have something going on for Valley. I think only if Dancy leaves, T.C. Taylor would definitely get a call. Whether he wants to take it or not, that's up to him. Now, the next one I'm looking at, if we go back to the hot seat again, I'm going to go to Grambling. I'll say Norfolk for last. We know, look, Hugh Jackson was brought in to bring Grambling back to the prominence. What he did so far, the Art Brown situation, and took the G out your name because the G ain't in you. 1-4 is not going to get it at Grambling. Grambling that calls us the Black Notre Dame. They want you to act like they're the Black Notre Dame. And the Black Notre Dame does not have the highest paid coach in the SWAC, paid more than Coach Sanders, can have that coach go 3-8. Especially the last coach was a Grambling man and won more games. So if they go 3-8, I do see the hot seat being there for Grambling. I don't care what you say. Grambling will find a way to do it. But who would they get to replace him? You can't just go out there and lose an NFL coaching. No. You want to go young. You want to go the Sean McVay route. But this time with Grambling, I think you should do what I told y'all to do the first time. And I'm not joking. Bring in Kincaid. Let him be the coach, a.k.a. CEO. That's what is best for Grambling. With him being the CEO of the team, you can develop a roster around him as far as coaches. He can pull from his former Grambling coaches and from his former NFL assistants and staff analysts they had. I'm not saying he'll be the best head coach, but he'll be way better going to recruit in Grambling, Mississippi, and in Texas. Hugh Jackson was. Hugh Jackson seemed to be more of a California kid. I promise you. The Dallas area will listen to Mr. Kincaid. Louisiana, they still know his highlights. Will listen to Mr. Kincaid. Mississippi, many times he embarrassed them boys down there. They will listen to Mr. Kincaid. So recruiting battles will be a little bit more difficult outside of that region. But if you get Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, you don't need nothing else. Now, last one. Norfolk State. We know Coach Odoms was supposed to be the next big hire. Last year, a couple games away from winning getting to Celebration Bowl. This year, not so much. But the question will be, who would you go to replace a legend? Like him or not, the man's a legend in the HBCU coaching circles. I think the only way you get rid of Coach Odoms, you have to make sure you have this guy, I'm going to say next, on deck. And when I say big name with a desire. What about Michael Vick? In the Virginia area, what name is bigger than Michael freaking Vick in Virginia? I'll wait. Nobody. What name do you know can rival Coach Sanders? Especially this generation right now. When he went down to Miami, the kids were saying, I used to play with you all the time. It's straight Hail Mary and run and react. Any quarterback who's a run and pass quarterback, a mobile quarterback will be flocking to him. That's the biggest problem with HBCU football has been the quarterback situation and the O-line. This man knows the Virginia area. He actually wants to be a coach. And he spent time learning as a coach under Andy Reid. People, what more can you want? If Norfolk State pulls the trigger on Coach Odoms, Michael Vick wants to be a coach. He was brought in, Coach Sanders introduced him to the HBCU culture. He probably has one of the only big names out there that compares similar to Coach Sanders. Recruits, television will follow. So, y'all, what do you think, man? Like I said, I broke it down to 3 teams. I do think T.C. Taylor, Mr. Kincaid, and Mr. Vick would be great. Coach Simmons, I'm out.